Doris Day's grandson may not be a household call, however. His connection to the mythical actress has continually sparked curiosity. Now at 41, he's subsequently commencing up about something enthusiasts have long suspected, from his non-public lifestyles to his courting together with his iconic grandmother. His revelation is dropping new mile on a facet of Doris Day that few ever knew. Let's take a look at what he has to say and why it is leaving each person speak me. Doris Marianne Koff changed into born on April 3rd, 1922 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Her mother and father, Frederick Wilhelm von Hoff, a track teacher and choir master, and Alma Sophia Weltz, a homemaker, were of German descent. Doris became the youngest of 3 children. Her brother Richard died before she became born, and her brother Paul turned into a few years older, developing up in a modest household. All through the Great Depression, Doris confronted challenges early on. Her parents' marriage was strained, leading to their eventual divorce, an extraordinary occurrence at the time, which deeply affected younger Doris. In spite of these hardships, she discovered solace in music and dance passions that might form her destiny. On the age of 12, Doris gained a dance contest through standing on her arms for greater than 3 hours. In comes her loose dance instructions. This victory showcased her determination and resilience. But at 14, a tragic vehicle accident shattered her leg, derailing her goals of turning into a professional dancer. Medical doctors considered amputation. However, after a couple of surgeries, she was restricted to mattress for over 12 months. All through this period of immobility, Doris turned to making a song, finding inspiration in the melodies of Ella Fitzgerald. Spotting her daughter's vocal talent, Elma enrolled Doris in making a song training with Grace Rain Grace Fast. Observed Doris's outstanding present placing, the degree for her destiny in music by 15. Doris began acting professionally, earning $5 consistent with night at a nearby Chinese eating place one night, whilst making a song at a neighborhood nightclub. She stuck the attention of band chief Barney Rapp. Impressed by her voice, Rapp desired her as his woman vocalist, but due to her age, Doris had to pretend to be 18 to carry out in venues serving Al, a testimony to 2. In 1939, at 17, Doris followed the degree name Doris Day at Rapp's concept, inspired by way of her rendition of the tune Each Day. Initially hesitant, she grew accustomed to the name, which would quickly come to be synonymous with Hollywood stardom. On March 15th, 1940, at simply 18, Doris Day joined Les Brown's band, marking a tremendous turning factor in her career. Overcoming initial stage fright, she impressed the band leader, together with her rendition of Embraceable You, securing her position as the lead vocalist. Her time with the band changed into marked via both triumphs and personal tragedies. In 1941, whilst traveling with the band, Doris acquired the devastating news of her brother Paul's death in an automobile accident. Regardless of her grief, she chose to carry out that nighttime, handing over a heartfelt overall performance that moved the target audience to tears. This resilience have become a hallmark of her career. In 1945, Doris finished her first foremost hit with Sentimental Journey, a track that resonated deeply with squatties returning home from World War II. Apparently, she recorded the track at the same time as fighting a chili, which lent her voice a distinct husky quitty-quitty. The song sold over 1 million copies in its first year, cementing her repute as a growing megastar. In 1947, Doris embarked on a solo career, signing a 7-year, $1 million settlement with Columbia Records. An unprecedented deal for a female artist at the time. To begin with, she confronted demanding situations with the songs, decided on for her finding them dull and outdated. After advocating for extra contemporary cloth, she recorded It's Magic, which became a large hit, promoting over 2 ill-ion copies and earning an Oscar nomination. Remarkably, she recorded the song in an unmarried take, leaving the studio audience in awe. Her success in track opened doorways to Hollywood. In 1948, songwriters Jewel Stein and Sammy Cahn advocated her for the movie Romance at the Excessive Seas. Despite having no prior performing experience, Doris auditioned and became forged within the lead function through director Michael Curtis, who praised her as the maximum ideal lady I've ever been. Visible, the movie's success marked the beginning of her illustrious movie career. Throughout the 1950s, Doris starred in a sequence of success musicals together with Calamity Jane, 1953, and The Pajama Game, 1957. In Calamity Jane, she portrayed a daring frontiers female, appearing her very own stunts and even breaking a rib throughout filming. The movie became a box workplace hit, grossing over $37 million. The pajama sport further showcased her versatility, contributing to its $5 million profits and solidifying her popularity as a main girl in Hollywood. Doris Day may also have been America's sweetheart. However, her non-punk lifestyles become a fairy tale at the back of her brilliant smile and convenient appeal. On display screen, she persisted heartbreak, betrayal, and a string of stricken relationships that frequently left her feeling powerless in her personal existence. Her first marriage, on the age of 17, to trombonist Al Jordan, became the start of a cycle of pain. Notwithstanding her mother's sturdy objections, Doris swept up in what she believed became love. The fact, however, turned into some distance extra. Sinister Jordan changed into jealous, possessive, and violently abusive the primary time he hit her. Become the day after their wedding ceremony. From then, as the violence escalated, Jordan accused Doris of infidelity at each turn, and his rage had become uncontrollable. At the same time, as pregnant with their handiest toddler, Terry, Doris suffered one in every of Jordan's most brutal assaults. He had desired her to have an abortion, and whilst she refused, he beat her so significantly that she nearly miscarried in her 8th month of pregnancy. He drove her to a remote location with a gun, threatening to kill each of them. Doris, with short thinking and sheer survival instincts, managed to break out the revel and left her scarred for life. And though she gave birth to a healthy infant boy in February 1942, she knew she couldn't stay within the marriage. She filed for divorce and in no way appeared lower back. However, the wounds Jordan inflicted on her lasted. Doris might later admit that from that day forward, she may want to by no means sit calm-ably inside the front seat of a vehicle without being reminded of that terrifying night. Her 2D marriage to musician George Widler regarded like a clean start. They had met his bandmates, and he seemed to provide the companionship she longed for. However, quickly, when they wed in 1946, Widler grew bloodless and remote. The very last blow got here while he admitted he couldn't cope with being married to someone whose fame overshadowed his personal. After simply 8 months, their marriage ended. Doris became devastated. Then came Martin Allure, the man who could trade her life in ways she could have never imagined. He appeared devoted, adopting her son Terry and taking on as her supervisor for almost many years. She located all her consider in him, unaware of the deception taking place backstage. What Doris didn't know, become that Meller and his enterprise associate Jerome Rosenthal have been secretly mismanaging her price range, funneling her profits into failed investments and fraudulent commercial enterprise ventures. Without her information, her entire fortune, well worth what could be over $150 million today, was disappearing. However, the betrayal didn't prevent there. While Malore suddenly died in 1968, Doris determined the whole extent of the deception. She discovered that, not handiest, turned into she penniless, but Muir had additionally secretly signed her up for a television show, The Doris Day Show. Facebook published, revealing the heartbreaking reality in their estrangement. His phrases struck a nerve with the public, who had continually believed Doris to be a loving, family-orientated girl. To all the ones who've asked, I acquired the information of my grandmother's passing like maximum of you. On social media, I've become now not accepted to look my grandmother for 14 years, thanks to her supervisor Bob Beshara, who additionally handled her estate and controlled get admission to her life. There's a lot greater to the story. However, it's a heartbreaking fact I must live with. The revelation bowled over Doris Day's longtime fans. How could a woman acknowledged for her warm temperature and generosity be kept far away from her very own grandson? And why had no one spoken up proximately it before Beshara? For his component denied any wrongdoing. He claimed that more than one attempts have been made to reconnect Ryan and Doris. However, that Ryan had declined, he pointed to a Beyond statement on Ryan's internet site, where he had once requested humans no longer to touch him, about Hollywood or his famous grandmother. However, many have been skeptical. A few believe that Doris, recognized for her deep-seated preference for privacy, may have without a doubt wanted to retreat from the sector. Others, however, suspected that those round her had taken benefit of her, consider controlling her interactions and ensuring that best a choose few had get entry to her, irrespective of in which the reality lies. One reality stays. Doris Day, one of the most beloved icons in American records, spent the last years of her life without ever seeing her simplest grandson. And while she was long gone, Ryan changed into left with not anything. However, unanswered questions and a deep sense of loss at 41. Doris Day's grandson admits what we all suspected, that his grandmother's later years were no longer as non-violent as they appeared for years. The sector regarded Doris as the embodiment of happiness, a celeb whose sunny disposition and heartfelt performances added joy to millions. However, the painful reality of her final years, one of isolation, controlled, get admission to, and unanswered questions, has left a lingering feel of thriller after her passing. Ryan Melcher continued to reflect. At the years he lost along with his grandmother, he often questioned if she had ever questioned why he stopped traveling. Had she virtually been kept in the dark, or had she genuinely chosen to permit pass of those family ties? Some, like Doris's longtime publicist, Charlie Cullen Walters, argue that Ryan's model of occasions isn't the entire reality. Walters insisted that efforts had been made to carry Ryan and Doris returned collectively, especially around her 90th birthday in 2014, but that Ryan had chosen to remain distant nevertheless. Others near the circle of relatives believe that Doris's manager had a ways extra manipulate over her lifestyles. Then many realized, no matter who became responsible, the end result remains the same. Doris Day and her grandson were stored apart, and the possibility for reconciliation changed into misplaced for all time past the own family turmoil. Doris's final years were marked by a deep dedication to animal welfare. She spent her days worrying for the animals on her 11-acre ranch, tending to rescue dogs and advocating for spay and neuter programs. She had lengthy on account that left behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, deciding alternatively to devote her time to a cause she definitely believed in. She became also acknowledged for her frugality and easy manner of existence. No matter her reputation as a Hollywood legend, Doris lived modestly, ingesting off paper plates and preserving a showering device in her bedroom. She never sought interest or accolades, even turning down the Kennedy Center honors and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. However, even as Doris selected to step away from the highlight, the story of her life and the questions surrounding her later years preserved to fascinate fanatics and historians alike. Her loss of life in 2019 marked the end of an era, but it additionally reignited a communication, approximately the darker aspect of fame. Yet in the end, Doris Day's legacy remains untouchable. She became extra than just an actress, greater than just a singer. She turned into a pressure of nature, a girl who defied the odds and overcame heartbreak time and time once more. Her story is one in all resilience, love, and mystery, a reminder that even the brightest stars may have shadows lurking at the back of them. Do you watch family legacies come with hidden truths that ultimately floor, what would you have guessed, approximately Doris Day's grandson before his huge display at 41 Live? Tuned for greater surprising memories, and consider to sign up for us again for the modern updates.